oh, my back is not like literally made out of rubber bands. So I was like, it's gonna be more like a back lean the first two shows.
Just a slight lean to the side.
Like
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, a
there,
slight tip. Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Roxanne with another of our video calls. We are catching up with everybody while we're all in lockdown. Delighted to say from Against the Current, Chrissy's on the line. How are you, Chrissy?
hello, I'm good.
Good to see you. Good to see you. We're starting all these with the obvious kind of question. I hope you're okay. I hope you're staying safe where you are. How's your lockdown kind of going for you?
It's not too bad because we actually got lucky where we wrapped up our cycle in December. Like December was the last thing that we did. I actually finished my year in China, ironically, right before all of this hit the fan. And yeah, so we were meant to be in the studio right now, and obviously being physically there is impossible, but luckily enough, we were able to get everybody's all rigged up now. So it's like business as usual for us, which is keeps it good. So I feel a little cheated out of like the abundance of free time. Like I wanted to do more puzzles and like bake my own bread and things like that, but I get a little jealous of that, but I can't complain because I am like able to do what I love to do every day still.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've seen you've been doing some writing and stuff. We'll definitely come on to that. Before we do, I do want to mention something very, very exciting we've just done with you guys, which is it's so cool. An actual new mini magazine put together. My story, Chrissy Costanza, full career spanning interview and everything, and really cool. This photo shoot that took place in lockdown. I mean, we've got all this little bits of footage of our photographer Jennifer kind of directing you over FaceTime and everything. How was that experience for you?
Dude, she's killer. Like I did not know how that was gonna go down going into it. And I had I don't want to say low expectations because that sounds so mean, but like I definitely didn't know what to expect. I was like, this is over FaceTime. And also I was having problems with the Wi-Fi in my house too. So I was like, oh God, like the quality is gonna be horrible. Like I don't is it gonna be cool? Like, normally it's like you just kind of move and pose and like you take 100,000 photos, and this was like, all right, do exactly this, and I'm going to take a screenshot. And I was like, there's not a lot to pick from. But we ended up doing 2 rounds, and they came out so cool. Like, one photo from the second round is like one of my all-time favorite photos, period. Like, period, that has been shot of me. So I was like, this is dope. Can I post this today? So I
That's
can't
so
wait.
cool. So cool to hear. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like you say with the writing music and finding ways to set up where you guys can all communicate. Everyone's just trying to find ways to adapt in this crazy new world we're finding ourselves in, man. I guess that's the kind of thing. So on that kind of writing note, like you say, you've been posting on socials, obviously working towards the new album. How is it working? How is it working practically for you guys writing a record at the moment?
The logistics aren't too difficult because of the nature of the band, where Dan and Will have always been primarily the music and I've always been primarily the top line. It's not the hardest thing because either they'll flesh out some kind of almost full track and I'll then work on the top lining, or I'll just like pick a random loop or random chord progression, write some top line, and they'll build under it. So it hasn't been the worst thing ever. It's actually it's enabled us to kind of be writing more and not get stuck in like, all right, we have to do one song every day. It's like, because there isn't like in studio time, it's like borderless, which is good and bad. It's good because time is unlimited, but it's bad because you could always be writing. So it's kind of like, if I'm doing something else, I'm like, I probably should go back to writing now.
Yeah. You got to figure out how to make some kind of studio schedule when you're own home. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, and we do, like, I have like our producer and I talk like every day about like, what time do you want to work on this and what time do you want to work on that. So it's good, but those are usually in shorter blocks, and then there's more individually done throughout the day and just sent back and forth. And we found like a lot of really cool programs that were pretty janky at the start of lockdown, but I think they realized the need for this virtual studio time, so they've gotten pretty good. I have never used recording software since I was like 15.
Oh,
So
wow.
once I joined the band, I like kind of gave up on all that because Dan and Will were so far ahead of me. Like, when before I joined the band, I was like trying to figure out my way around Pro Tools. But so this was kind of like a being thrown straight into the deep end type thing where it's like, all right, now you have to figure out how to run your session all by yourself.
Yeah, in your own home
I was
from
like,
a
okay.
distance. Like, go,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
Oh
all
well.
right. But
Yeah,
it worked out. It was good. It's a good learning experience for sure.
yeah, 100%. Definitely, definitely. And in terms of those sessions in general, I remember when we kind of caught up end of the year and around Reading and Leeds and stuff as well, there was like the beginnings of the writing then. You kind of had some ideas, you guys were playing around with the kind of had a couple of songs you thought were kind of fully formed-ish. How has it progressed now? Are you still working on stuff you're working with back then? Is it all new stuff? What are we talking?
Our process right now is get as many like concepts, so on, which is different from Past Lives and In Our Bones, because on those two records it really was, we did almost the entire song in that one day, and we were working with different co-writers every single day, so you kind of just, you really only had them that day. So the idea was to get start to finish as much as possible. Obviously little extra things got cleaned up at the end, but this time it's more like, let's just get the verse and chorus, like the bones of the song. Don't worry too much about the production. Don't worry too much about, making it all sparkly and shiny as if it's about to come out tomorrow. And so we're just like writing and writing and writing and writing and writing right now.
Nice. It's exciting. And in terms of the sound of it, we've talked before about the last record, and it was kind of experimenting with lots of different sounds and really kind of pushing your sound in new directions, which is really, really exciting. On this record, do you feel like you have the confidence to do that even more? I mean, what are the sounds you guys are playing with at the minute?
There's definitely, on Past Lives, I think we really, really loved playing with a lot of synth. And on this record, we've definitely brought guitars back a lot more, which is really fun. But there still is like that modern balance between the two. We just, we found ourselves rocking songs up for live, and we were like, why don't we just make them that way to begin with? There's still a balance of songs that are very ethereal feeling to begin with, but it's hard to say too because we haven't picked the ones for the record like at all. I won't say a single song is like, yeah, that's guaranteed. I refuse to do that because I'm not gonna let myself get attached to something, because I definitely did that with the last records where I'm like, this song has to be on the record, it's so good, and then like everyone else is like, that song's shit.
All these debates to come, man, whittling it down. It's going to be a tough process, I'm sure, but it's exciting, and especially when you say that about the live thing. You mentioned that before about kind of playing with the songs live and everything, and finding that right energy there. I guess that's the interesting thing, is that when eventually, God willing, all live shows start coming back, maybe they'll keep developing again. You just don't know at this stage, right?
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can't wait. That's the nice thing too, is right now, because there's no touring obviously for the foreseeable future, we're not in a rush to get this album done, where I feel like, other albums you're like, all right, we got to finish now because we got to go tour, we got to, we have the tour coming up, we got to get it done, it's got to be done before that, like and now it's kind of just like there's no pressure to just like get it done. So we can really, who knows, like next month our sound might be going in a totally different direction in the writing process. We're trying to let it show itself naturally, I guess, as opposed to being like, this is exactly what we want. Just seeing what naturally is coming out of us first, and then we can hone it and shape it. And, songs can change so much just with the production process. So
of course.
there's so many songs that like started as a pop that became rock, started as rock that became pop, started became rock. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like you can change so much about a song. So that's why we're just trying to focus on the core of them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's nice, I guess, in a way. Despite the kind of horrible side of the situation that we're all in right now. I mean, I've spoken to so many band members, and they are just realizing what a kind of luxury this is. Because, especially for you guys, you hit the road hard, and especially over the last couple of years. Like, I imagine having some actual downtime to sit back and, like you say, not rush anything and kind of think through what you want to do next. That really is kind of a gift in that way.
Trying to see the silver lining in it. And it's weird though, because I look like, I think normally I would be so excited, be like, wow, I have all this time off to like just chill and write and get in my routine at home. And like, of course now I'm like, God, like I really want to go back to Europe, like I really miss fucking rolls in Germany in the morning. So there are
That,
like weird things. There are very weird things that like you get very attached to when you've been somewhere multiple times.
I was going to say rolls in Germany. I want a couple more now because that's
Ooh,
very specific.
Weatherspoons.
Oh man, here we go. Every single band member, especially from the States, always Weatherspoons.
It's so much fun. It's just like great. Like I really like the sweet potato curry, and I'm not like a curry person. I love the sweet potato curry there. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of what else. I think like chips and mayo, because like mayo here is like a little more sus. So like you don't really dip your chips in your mayo here.
I mean, I'm personally not a fan of that, and I just, yeah, I can't handle that. It's ketchup or go home, man.
I mean, I love ketchup, but sometimes it's just so acidic. I
Mm.
have like I have a lot of hangups as a sing like with my tour diet. Like I have a lot of things where I have to like is this worth it type thing? Because like
Yes.
my is just like ready to crap out at any given point. So I've just very carefully formulated my diet around it.
Got to watch your condiments exactly. It's like, no, not mayo today. That's not happening. Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, but I miss that. I just miss like, I don't know, Europe's such a different feel from the US. So it's like you get like it's like a weird like homesick feeling for like being on the bus and with like everybody and we have our little routines and like I don't know, I bought like 5 boxes of Yorkshire tea for myself today the other day. I thought it was 1 box. Turns out it's 5, so I have 400 bags of Yorkshire tea now.
You
So,
can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong with that at all. That's excellent.
yeah,
Yeah,
so.
it's a clever decision, I think. Speaking of live, I mean, yeah, this is something we've spoken about with everybody. I mean, everyone's just so desperate to get back out on the road because it's such an important part of all your careers, obviously, and it's that biggest connection with the fans. I guess to look at the kind of positive side of things, looking back on this last massive tour, like I say, you guys have been doing, are there any particular moments that kind of stand out for you guys in terms of the live stuff recently?
Oh, on the last tour.
Mm.
Um, the shows were just like so much fun. I really loved the set that we crafted. I know there was like a lot of thought put into the set and just like voices starting the set where there was that like swell up and then all of a sudden it's like boom, down, down, down. Oops, sorry. Like I was like, it just felt so good. It felt like we really found like a flow that felt very true to us at the set and it felt so nice. And like now, of course, I'm like, damn it, like I want to go back on tour. But
It'll come. It'll come. We're all looking forward to
no,
it. It'll definitely
it's not
come.
even just the set. It's like everything around being on tour. I
Yeah.
love traveling. So
Yeah, no, for sure. It's such a tricky thing, but it will come back. It will come
yeah,
back at some point.
I'm
We're
like
all
forcing
positive.
like interesting cuisines upon my family, and they're just like not ready for it. They're like, please stop. I
Define interesting cuisine. Define that for
just
me.
like random things that like people don't think to make. Like I'm trying to make those rolls that I get in Germany, and they require like bar like malt flour and like things that we just don't have in our pantry. And I'm like, so I keep getting like Amazon packages of like all this weird shit, and like we're cleaning the boxes and things, and my family, because I'm in one of the hot spots, and so my family like will open it and be like, Christina, like what the fuck is this? Like why do we need this?
Another type of flour? This is the fourth type of flour.
Oh, fourth. You don't want to know how many kinds of
No.
flour I have in my baking cabinet right now. It's terrifying in there.
A full flour cabinet going on now.
Flour, like it's not just my fault though. My mom buys all like the weird healthy flour, like chickpea flour, where you're like, yeah, no, I don't think it's a good idea either, but don't tell her that.
Okay, fair enough. As long as the finished product's good, that's all that matters. That's what matters. Let's talk a little bit more about writing and stuff because I guess, like you said earlier, on the last record, lots of co-writers brought in and everything. Are you working with anyone outside the core band circle at the minute? Is there anyone you're looking to work with this time around?
Yeah, so we just started doing mostly just a core band and a producer for the beginning, and now we actually literally just had this conversation where we're gonna start talking to other people and seeing about like doing some co-writes, doing like a collab or something, seeing who's working and who has the capability, I guess, because not everybody is rigged up at home. So yeah, seeing who's interested and so that's gonna be the next step. We wanted to just spend time on it with our by ourselves first before we brought people in, as opposed to last time where we brought people in and since we hadn't spent any time with it, we didn't really know what to tell them. So songs took all sorts of different directions. We had a
Yeah.
lot of weird leftover songs that never made the albums.
Well, that's an interesting point, actually. If there's all this kind of leftover stuff, is there any moments in that where you think, maybe want to revisit a little element of that, or even if it's just a lyric or a little sample or something, ever diving back into that kind of stuff?
Maybe like a pinch of a lyric. I don't know if I would take the whole one, but like maybe the idea behind it. Um, Generally speaking, there's reasons that songs don't make albums. So it's like if it wasn't our first choice at that time, like if it wasn't an obvious this is a great song, then there's probably a reason for that. Because if we didn't hear it, then how is someone else going to hear it?
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough for
I'm
sure.
sure someone would have liked it. It's not like they were trash garbage, but it's just if it's not hitting you the first time you listen to like, holy shit, this is a good song, then it's not worth putting out. I'd rather
Yeah.
a better one.
Yeah, if you get the cream of the crop, that's all that matters. Yeah, if you've got to have some things beneath it, that's all that matters. Other things I want to chat to you about as well. Let's talk about Hero 2, because what a huge song that was, and what a cool thing to do. Talk to me about how that came together, how they approached you. How did that end up happening?
I think that came through our Japanese label, and they knew that I'm learning Japanese. I loved being in Japan. It's like one of my favorite places ever, and it just like felt like a very natural collab. The whole squad like flew to New York, like a bunch of people from the animation studio. Yeah, it was interesting. I've never had so many people watching me track like audio before. Like it was a little intimidating. There was like 11 Japanese men just sitting in the control room, and I was just like, "What's up, guys?"
It worked out.
But it was awesome. It was so much fun. I don't know. I was just like, it was such a cool little thing, and because she's like in a band and like playing at her school show thing, it was kind of very appropriate too. So it worked out really well, and I was really excited. The funniest part was definitely retranslating some of the lyrics because they already translated them, but some of the translations were it was more of an interpretation than it was written in Japanese and then basically interpreted into English, and some of the English lyrics were just like not what anyone would ever say. So actually One OK Rock's translator Jamil was with me, and like we kind of wrote them together. He's also a songwriter, luckily. So and like wears a doubt. He does so much. He's like one of the coolest people ever. And we were able to like rewrite the song. But it was funny because at first I was reading the lyrics and I was like, dude, like is it me? Like, is this just how it is? Like, because I don't watch a whole lot of anime. I watch a little bit, but so I was like, but it worked out really well. It was so much fun. The people were so nice from the anime like company.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's just like you say, it just seemed like such a perfect fit as well. When you watch the final thing, you're like, of course, this is such a perfect kind of match for it.
Yeah, it's like so heartwarming. It's like, oh, she did it.
Hey, heartwarming is exactly the phrase, actually. It is like a properly nice watch. I encourage you, if you've not checked it out yet, go and see it. It's really, really cool to check. What else should we talk about? Oh, actually, this is the main thing I wanted to chat to you about. Catching up with everybody, obviously in lockdown in this weird time that we're in. Everyone's trying to find these new ways to connect with fans, right? And I feel like you guys are always so good with that, particularly online, actually. In the last campaign as well, you saw loads of kind of connection and really wanted to speak to them on a kind of personal level as much as you guys could. Have you guys thought, obviously you're in the writing mode at the minute, but have you guys thought about any ideas about how maybe you can reach out to fans in this weird time and keep that connection going?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things is I want to start a Discord channel, and like that's one of the things I'm working on right now. I just have been in writing mode every day because Dan and I are obviously both gamers, and they've asked about that for a while because like sometimes I stream, and hopefully I'm going to do that again soon. I know everyone's like, why haven't you streamed? But it's literally just because I've been writing every day. But so maybe making a Discord channel because it's a cool place where you can go and hang out and like chat directly instead of like on a public forum. You know, like if you're tweeting people, it's like other people can just be like sneakily observing that you don't ever know. It's like there's like a weird thing about that. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just like Discord is very much like we're all just here hanging out. So would love to do that. And then just using like Instagram and Twitter. Stop turning off my lighting.
Dude, like I said to you before we started this is one of the better setups I've seen so far. You do not need to worry. This is all good.
My two monitors. I literally thought about this beforehand though, because I was like, I can have you on my laptop, and I have like my two gaming desktop monitors behind. I was like, maybe I should like pull up like a peachier color. Like, is this light too harsh? And then I was like, I need to stop.
Yeah, it's not that deep. None of us are on show. Look at what I'm working with, dude. We're all fine. It's all good. Keeping it easy. Keeping it easy.
Should I break out the ring light? Like, I was like, I need to take a nap. That's the problem with quarantine, is like when you do like have more time to do things and you're not just like going from one thing to another, you just like start overthinking like the logistics of things.
Yeah.
I rewrote my to-do list today because I didn't like how my little bubbles for the checks were looking. I was like, this isn't sparking joy.
It kills time. It kills time. You've got to kill the time right now.
Like, I need to stop. Like, I need to go like outside and take a walk. It's like long here.
Well, I tell you what, that's actually an interesting thought, to put it back on the fact that you guys are writing an album right now. Do you find yourself having too much time to overthink it? I mean, like I know you said before, trying to fit that scheduled time in and make sure you do have time to switch off and all that kind of thing. Do you find that you maybe are overthinking elements too much, or how's it working?
You know what? I just like overthink everything all the time anyway. It's my natural state of being. So I don't notice a difference in like the songwriting process. It's more in like the stupid little things. Like I debated ironing my sheets the other day, and that's when I knew it was gone too far, you know? I was like, I've been spending, so I have one grandparent left, my granny. She's and she lives alone. My grandfather actually just passed away a few months ago, unfortunately. Really bad timing with this whole thing. So I try and spend like time FaceTiming her. She has a sunroom, so I'll go sit there with like a mask and Lysol myself down every 5 minutes. You should see how neurotic it gets. But like, so I try and spend a lot of time talking to her and being with her as much as I can because, you know, she's by herself. And I think I'm just slowly becoming her because of that. And I was just like thinking about ironing my sheets. And I was like looking at like my pot after I made like dinner the other night. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think if I use some baking soda, I could get this like little brown stuff off the bottom. This is not important. Like, I need to stop.
Oh, thank God you've got an album to write, dude. Thank God.
I was like, let me get back to meanwhile, it's like my reality is usually being in like clubs that are like the whole floor is like sticky from beer, you know, and, like smells like someone literally like rubbed cigarettes along the walls, and like playing shows for like a few hundred people smushed together, sweating on each other. And I'm worrying if my sheets have wrinkles in them.
Dude, though,
like,
how much
happened?
I know what has changed, but how much do you miss that horrible smell right now and that sticky floor, dude?
It's a weird thing. It is really a very weird thing. That smell to me, the combination of like stale beer and like stale cigarettes, I guess, is like very nostalgic and like familiar to the point where it's like, oh, I love this smell, but I don't love it, but like I love it.
It's because it's so specific though, right? It's so specific just to gigs. You only get that just at gigs.
It's like when people smell, like, it's like why I love going to like dive bars, because it like smells the way like home to me. Like that's home to me. Like it smells like home to me. And like I think I walked into one with like some friends from like around here recently, and I like smelled it and I was like, oh, I love this smell. And they're like you know, just go with it, don't worry.
Sense memory, man. Sense memory. I get it. From German rolls to sticky bar floors. I get it. It makes sense.
The rolls. I can feel the rolls. I remember like exactly what they feel like.
Right. For God's sake, if anyone's watching this and knows how to do or where you can get these German rolls.
I found a recipe.
You found the recipe? Okay, good.
Yeah. I don't remember what they're called. They have a German name. And they are amazing. Wait, Berliner Schrippen. That's probably terrible pronunciation. These are them.
Oh, okay. All right. So proper old school style dinner rolls. That is nice.
They're so good. I love them.
Right. I'm gonna look that up now. I'm gonna look that up and see if I can get my baking skills going. We'll make it work. Last question for you, I guess, man, is what is kind of next? Because like we say, you know, working on this record, experimenting with lots of different sounds, but do you guys have, I mean, I guess especially it's kind of apt when we've got the mini mag coming out and you have been reflecting on your entire career. Do you guys have some specific aims or anything you want to achieve, or any unfinished business, whatever that may be? I mean, what is the next level you want to be hitting this time around?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because, when we're in album land, we're just in album land. But I mean, right now, I just want to get back on the road. Like, that's the first thing. And I'm also not, I don't know, it's hard to set like venue goals or things like that because I don't know what the situation is going to be when like a year's worth of canceled tours or a year and a half's worth of canceled tours are all vying for the same venues. So, not totally sure what that's going to look like, but I just want to get back with everybody. I want to get back on like the bus with my crew and my bandmates, and like I want to see the fans again and like hang out and, do fun things, and yeah, pretend I'm funny when I'm not on stage, like that kind of stuff. I miss it.
Man,
My family doesn't laugh at my jokes, at least like on stage, it's like people pretend to laugh. So it's like,
oh, dude,
I'm working with a wall here. I'll tell my jokes to my dog. She doesn't think I'm
Is this on? What's happening? Is this on? No? Yeah, bless you. Bless you. It's a shame. But I mean, this is the thing, like we said with everybody, live shows will return at some point, and my God, it's going to be the biggest party the minute they do. I cannot wait to be able to get back out there. It's going to be great.
Forget how to backbend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna have to like get back into a stretching routine, I guess, right?
Actually, Jen asked me to do one for the FaceTime photo shoot, and after I did one, I was like, I gotta start stretching.
Do you really feel it all of a sudden?
I was like, well, it's just like it is, it's not a natural position for you to throw your body into. But when I'm like on tour and I'm like, it's the last thing in the show, my body's very warm, so I'm just like, and it's fine. But like when you're just hanging around your house all day and I started leaning back, I was like, oh, my back is not like literally made out of rubber bands. So I was like, it's gonna be more like a back lean the first two shows.
Just a slight lean to the side. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, a slight tip. Yeah. It's time for the famous Chrissy Costanza slight tip to the side. It's coming. There we go. It'll work well. Absolutely. Chrissy, it's always great to chat to you. Really excited about this mini mag. It's really, really cool, and can't wait to hear more new music. And just, glad you're staying safe, and all the best to the guys as well. We'll catch up with you very soon, I'm sure. Yeah, you too. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, 100%. All right. Good to see you, man. Chrissy, everybody. Yeah.